So in Go programming language, there are several data types that we get familiar with. And what are those data types you are talking about in Go programming language? You are talking about data types refers to an extensive system used for declaring variable or functions of different types. Okay, so the type of a variable determines how much space it occupies in storage and how the bit pattern stored is interpreted. So what this is trying to tell us is that data type will determine the space a particular variable will occupy in the storage of our operating system while compiling the code. So for the variable to have a data type, it will determine the size of space and what type of value it's taking. In Go, we have several data types. We have the integer, we have string, and we have boolean type. So for the first one here is boolean types, which are either true or false. So they are boolean types and consist of two predefined constants, which are true or false. These ones are used in conditional statements or any statement that has control. So these are true or false value, just those two values under boolean types. So for numeric types, which I can also call an integer type, we will get into that. They are again arithmetic types and they represent integer types or floating point value throughout the program. Floating point values means decimal numbers. So string types here is talking about series of characters such as made, let's say for instance, from a string type represent the set of string value from year to year is a string, or this group of words here, characters here that form a word here is also a string. A string type represents the set of string values. Its value is a sequence of bytes. Strings are immutable, which means they are unchangeable. You can't edit it, you can't truncate it. Then you also have immutable types that is once created, it is not possible to change the content of a string. The predeclared string type is string. So how do we declare a string variable is just by putting this keyword string right after the variable name. For the derived type, they include pointer type, array type, structure type, union type, function type, slice type, interface type, map type, channel type. So these ones are derived type, derived from the value of any of these other ones. Let's say like integer, number, string. So the derived type take their type from those ones. So now for the integer types, integer, as you already know, is a whole number, so it might be positive or negative. For the positive only, they are known as unsigned. That is why we have u at the front of this int, which is used for integer. U int of 8, which means unsigned 8-bit integers, which range from 0 to 255. Here we have u int 16, which means unsigned 16-bit integers 0 to these 65,535. That is for unsigned integer of 16-bit integers. That is the range of those numbers that can take the value of the data type of unsigned integer of 16-bit integer. So unsigned integer of 32 bits integers is 0 to 4 billion. Then we have unsigned 64-bit integers, which is ranging from 0 to this large number. So this is the largest range we can get as a value of integer in Go programming. So I have here int 8. This one is signed, so we don't have the u at the front of the keyword. Int 8, we don't have the u like we have here, so int 8 is signed, which means it ranges from negative integers to the positive ones. So ranging from negative 128 to positive 127. While int 16 is ranging from negative 32768 to 32,768. Then for this. So you can always look up for this in any ebook online, or you can check the internet for the data types and their range. So for 32-bit integers ranging from negative to billion, while 64-bit integers negative to positive of this. So that's for integer type. So now for floating type, we have float 32, which means on 32-bit floating number. This is on 64-bit floating number. Then complex 64 complex number with float 32 real and imaginary parts. Real and imaginary part. Complex this and okay. So that is about float there. So other types. Now this is where we'll be settling at most. Other numeric types. There is also a set of numeric type with implementation specific size. So implementation specific size like byte, same as unsigned integer of 8. So it have the same length as unsigned integer of 8, which means 0 to 255. Whenever we declare our variable to type of byte, it have that range. While whenever we declare our variable to real type, it's what? It is integer of 32 bits. So integer, that is signed integer of 32 bits, which means ranging from negative 2 billion to positive 2 billion. So the third one is uint without 32 or 64 at the front. So it means 32 or 64 bits. It depends on the type of value that it is being assigned. So int is same as uint. So it is same as this int. This one is unsigned while this one is signed without declaring the other parts whether it is 64 or 32 bits. So we have u int ptr, an unsigned integer to store the uninterpreted bit of a pointer value. Unsigned integer to store a pointer value. So uint ptr, pointer ptr, we get that into that when we are going through this course. Unsigned integer of a pointer value. So we don't know the value of that integer yet. So we don't know the value of the pointer yet, but of type integer. So unsigned, we declare the size of that variable. So that is about variables in Go programming. That's data types in Go programming. You can always look up on that on the internet. All right.